Why do you hate rom-coms? Or do you just feel like you need to hate them?
Rom-coms are boring. They have the same story, which is about some woman in a love triangle. It's female wish fulfillment, and since I don't have a vagina, I'm not interested in watching these movies for the same reason you probably hate non-lesbian porn.
Everybody likes The Notebook. Everybody likes Beyonce. It's just a fact.
The Notebook got a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, so no, you're an idiot. Even the audience scores are only 85%, which is 15% shy of everybody. In fact, the highest ranked romantic comedy according to Rotten Tomatoes is the 1940 movie The Philadelphia Story, starring Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn. Never heard of it? That's because you're an uncultured retard.
Why do you make women sit around and talk about men in movies?
I'm going to steal a line from Teal Deer, but citation needed. Please provide some example of women being forced to talk about men in movies against their will.
Y'all easily just sit around and talk about boobs for hours.
Why?
Alright, this one isn't allowed to talk anymore. You think The Notebook is a flawless movie, and you think that men talk about boobs for hours. You have nothing valuable to contribute to the human race, much less this conversation.
Do you automatically assume that you won't like TV or movies that star a female lead?
Why?
I love the new Star Wars movie despite it having a female lead. In fact, the female lead was the weakest part of the movie. But I still loved it and would rank it third or fourth among all the movies in the franchise. The problem isn't female leads per se, but most often when the movie or TV show has a female lead, it's marketed towards a female audience. So the problem isn't the female lead, but the entire premise of the movie or TV show. By the way, why are you wearing men's clothes?
I'm surprised when women are funny.
Because it never happens. The rarer something is, the more surprised one is when it is witnessed.
I'm probably funnier than you.
No comment.
Why do you think that we're obsessed with you when we hook up?
9 times out of 10, I just want you to leave too. I'm busy. I got shit to do.
Generally, women don't just sport fuck random men. They are usually looking to use sex to start a more serious relationship. You may be the rare woman that is comfortable being a casual booty call or friend with benefits, but that's not the norm.
I cannot sleep with as many people as I want to without being judged. When men do it, they're congratulated.
Why?
That's a complex question that has a lot to do with the differing expectations and benefits men and women have when in a relationship. Generally, the woman wants a man to provide her with resources, while the man wants the woman to provide him with sex. Having multiple sexual partners doesn't get in the way of the man fulfilling his role towards women, but it directly interferes with the woman fulfilling her role towards the man. Go ahead and slut it up if you want, but realize that the bigger whore you are, the less men will find you an attractive potential partner. They'll be happy to have sex with you, but once your looks fade, nobody will want you because your vagina will hang like a wizard's sleeve.
Why do you consider a woman a tease if she doesn't sleep with you after 3 dates, but a slut if she sleeps with you on the first date?
If the man took you out on 3 dates and spent an average of, let's say, $60 per date, he spent nearly $200, and these are not extravagant dates either. It's just going out to Olive Garden or something. If a man spends $200 on you, and you're not saving yourself for marriage or anything, but you don't want to have sex with him, you were just using him for free dinners and entertainment. And you're a bitch, because you were wasting his time and money while leading him on for several weeks. If you have sex with him on the first date, that may or may not be appropriate and get you labeled a slut. If he took you out somewhere really expensive and spent a lot of money on you, at least a BJ is customary. However, if he took you to Burger King and you fucked him in the bathroom at the restaurant, that's pretty slutty in my book, but it's all about context.
What world does no mean yes?
No means no.
Why?
Oh, Hanuman, give me strength, not this yes means yes shit again. Well, at least they aren't talking about the fucking gender wage gap.
Why do you say that women are too emotional to be leaders?
Women are far more emotional and less logical than men. This has been demonstrably and clinically proven. However, if women want to be leaders, go build something from the ground up and lead it. Don't come into things built by men and demand to be the leader because you have a vagina and it's the current year.
Then justify catcalling by saying men just can't control themselves.
Why?
I have never heard anyone defend catcalling by saying men just can't control themselves. But when feminists are calling men saying hello, good morning, and general pleasant greetings catcalling, the problem isn't that men can't control themselves, but women are so entitled and insane that they perceive any social interaction with a man they don't think is good enough to talk to them to be harassment.
Why do you think that just because you're nice to me, I owe you my body?
Why do you think that just because you're nice to a man, that they owe you their money and or utility? When women flirt with men in order to manipulate them into providing resources or utility with no intention of sex or affection, that's not you being nice. That's you being a manipulative bitch. Be honest about your intentions, and there won't be an issue. But don't be surprised when fewer men trip over themselves to serve you when they realize you have no intention to have any physical relationship with them.
Would you ever send an unsolicited dick pic?
Maybe we're proud of our dicks. Women post what they're eating and other random shit on their social media that nobody cares about. What if I have a really awesome dick and I just want to share it with the world one Tinder match at a time?
Why do you feel like it's okay to harass women or make offensive comments about women, but when somebody does it to your sister, it's not okay?
Without context, this question is difficult to answer. Generally, women accuse a man of harassment for simply disagreeing with them, especially in regards to feminism. But that would not be equal to someone, say, threatening my sister or another female family member with physical violence. So calling both of these examples harassment is a logical fallacy. It is designed to censor free speech by equating anything women don't like with actual harassment. So fuck you.
How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of making a point during a meeting?
Because you probably didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. Based on your nose ring, I can tell your life is a string of bad decisions anyway. And I doubt whatever you were saying in this hypothetical meeting would prove otherwise.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
I get that you have balls, but I don't stand around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
Holy shit, you can't be this retarded. Look at your shoulders. Do you see how far apart your arms are? Now look at your legs. Do you see how close your thighs are? Now imagine you have a very sensitive organ dangling between those thighs and use your imagination. In addition to having balls, men have narrower hips because we don't give birth to babies, making our thighs even closer together than that of a woman. Hence we spread our legs when we sit down because it's comfortable. Besides, your giant purses take up far more space on public transport than a man with his knees slightly open in his seat.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex? Even though we literally birth you, like watermelons, through like this.
Why is it?
Women are physically weaker than men, hence they are the weaker sex. Giving birth to babies is not a feat of strength, any more than taking a shit while constipated is. You're a moron.
It's so bad to show your emotions.
It means you're human.
Men do share their emotions, just not around women. They do it when they're safely away from women in a male space with their bros, usually accompanied with alcohol. Men don't show emotions around women because women are disgusted by weak men. When women try to get a man to open up about his feelings, she's looking for something to manipulate him with later.
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me?
Because it makes your pussy wet, and we're trying to introduce our dicks to that pussy. If women were attracted to weak crying men, men would become weak and cry more. However, women are not attracted to weak men that cry, so men have to bury their emotions and prove their masculinity in order to hopefully be granted access to your vagina. Since women desire utility from a man, he has to prove his utility via demonstrating masculinity. Women don't have to prove anything because all men desire in women is basically sex.
Why the f isn't it ladylike to cuss? When did words get gendered?
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
Why do you?
Because women lie. And prior to an investigation, the accuser should always be doubted. I know this doesn't make sense to you because you're a woman and you have a care-based morality instead of a justice-based morality, but trust me when I tell you that the standard of innocent until proven guilty is very good. It is the hallmark of a free society, even if it means women aren't automatically believed when they accuse a man of rape because she regrets the sex the next day.
You assume a woman's angry because she's on her period.
Why
Why do you assume that you're not angry when you're on your period?
do you think women that wear makeup are false advertising? We can say the same thing about your dick size.
When you wear makeup, push-up bras, fake hair, or even cosmetic surgery, you are misrepresenting your genetic health and fitness, which is why men are attracted to youth and beauty in the first place. Comparing this to a man's dick size isn't the right comparison. A better comparison is a man lying about his job or income in order to get a woman to sleep with him. In both cases, they are misrepresenting what the opposite sex is looking for in a partner in order to receive positive attention, and are thus false advertising. Hope that clears things up.
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
Do you have a coochie?
Why are
I don't give one fucking shit what you do with your body until the moment you require me to pay for it, at which point it becomes my business. When you scream to the government to pay for this and subsidize that, you're giving the government permission to regulate your body. If you don't like it, there is a very easy solution. Pay for your own shit. Get a job and pay for your own shit. Keep your hands out of my wallet, and I'll keep my laws off your body. Deal?
Straight guys so obsessed with lesbians.
Citation needed. I honestly don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about porn? Men like lesbian porn because it's naked women having sex with each other. What's not to love?
How does it feel to get kicked in the balls?
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time?
You're just repeating your previous question about proving masculinity. Have you run out of questions already?
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
Why?
Because it doesn't exist. Men and women are biologically different, and not just sexually, but in many areas, including the brain, which affects intelligence. I've made several videos on this subject, but let me just paraphrase by saying that when a society seeks to achieve gender equality, the only logical outcome is that men are pulled down to women's level, and eventually the society fails because the entire foundation of that society is undermined.
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
How is that fair?
Motherfucker, god fucking damn it, why couldn't we get through one fucking video without this wage gap bullshit? Look, ladies, you want to eliminate the wage gap? Stop having kids. Period. That's what causes it. It's not sexism or the patriarchy, it's women dropping out of the workforce to have families. Stop having kids, and the wage gap disappears within one generation. If you want men to be paid less so that women can be paid more in order to make up for women dropping out of the workforce to have children, then companies will stop hiring women. The laws of economics will win in the end, no matter how many laws you pass.
Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you? That's awesome! More money!
I'm not intimidated, but men being more logical and rational than women will see a huge problem coming down the road when talk about starting a family comes up. Because women have the babies, they will have to leave their job at least temporarily in order to have said babies. They may not even want to return to work at all once they bond with a new baby and all those mommy hormones kick in. If the woman was the breadwinner earning all the money for the family, this puts the man in quite the predicament. Also, hypergamy. It's a thing and men know about it. So getting involved with a woman that makes more money than you is not going to end well long term because she will always be looking to trade up constantly.
Why are opinionated women seen as bitches?
Because they don't know what they're talking about and respond to reasoned criticism by being a bitch.
And opinionated men are seen as bosses.
Men tend to have informed opinions. They provide logic and evidence to back up their opinions, which earns them respect that women will never know.
Why aren't you speaking up when you hear your male friends behind closed doors make jokes that are offensive to women?
I know I said I wasn't going to respond to this bitch again, but I can't let this one go. Fuck you and your rally cry to white knights to censor other men. I wish all the bad things in life to happen to you. Out of all the women in this video, you are by far the most odious and deplorable cunt. And I just want you to know how I feel.
Why are you so afraid of recognizing your own privilege? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just recognize it and do something about it.
Someone being ignorant of their privileges is one thing, but seeking to expand their privileges every day at the expense of the opposite sex does in fact make someone a bad person. This is why I think feminists are absolutely terrible people.